The Hungaroring is abuzz with excitement as Formula One returns to Hungary for another round. We first came here in 1986 after construction on this purpose-built motorsport facility was completed. The Hungaroring is one challenging succession of corners and turns. With few straights, it's affectionately known as the go-kart circuit. Drivers will have to find a proper rhythm to make the most of the layout, and for cars, low-speed downforce will be paramount. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. So, without further ado, let's get started. Here we are, back for another day of Formula One action, where practice wraps up and qualifying unfolds. By the end of the day, we'll know who's leading at the front, who's packing out the midfield, and who's bringing up the rear. All 20 drivers competing will be pushing their cars to the limit, pushing themselves to the limit too. But if they can push beyond those limits, well, the very best find themselves mounting a challenge for the championship. Stay with us as we see who can deliver on motorsport's biggest stage. welcome to race day. And before we get down to it, last-minute checks are being made.
Aston Martin did a good job during qualifying, and they're pretty much where everyone expected them to be on the grid. Now, it's up to them to defy expectations during the race itself. This weekend, Red Bull displayed promise during qualifying. Now, they need to capitalize on their grid position and get a good race under their belts. And the sky is looking grey and cloudy today. An effective tyre strategy could prove very valuable as the race plays out.
And we're just over 300 kilometers away from the conclusion of this Hungarian Grand Prix. And each and every one of them is sure to be thrilling. It's a bit of a cloudy day for the race, but the atmosphere as ever is electric. Taking a look at the Aston Martin. They'll be starting the race from the bottom half of the grid, so there's a fair bit of ground to make up. There's the second Aston Martin. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. And we're just moments away now. This is it, the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Let's focus.
A position gained for Alfa Romeo.
Yellow exit of 6. Yellow exit of 6.
Let's have a look. Now we see the Williams here. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The car's just gone. The team are really disappointed with that. Let's hope it doesn't set them back too badly. Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place. Let's see what happened there. So this was the Aston Martin. Gaining a position there. They make it look so easy. I think it's safe to say that went down well with the team.
Car in the wall.
We've just had a crash on the track. Let's take a closer look. Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one. A definite collision there. That's very unfortunate. Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position. We can take a look now. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. And there they go, moving up a position in the pack. The driver's team there cheering them on. Seems to have been a lock-up. Here's the replay. Now just focus on the Haas. Well, they've lost it. They've locked up.
Box, box. Box, box. We've just had a car run wide. Let's have a look.
Now, just watch the Mercedes here. They're way off the racing line there. That isn't good. That sounds like someone's gone wide there. Let's take a look at the replay. Now look at this. It was the AlphaTauri driver involved. They're forced wide, and there we can see them slide off. Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place. Let's take a closer look. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. Moving up a place there. Excellent work from them. The team watching on and clearly loving that. Did somebody spin out there? Let's see what happened there. Now just take a look at the McLaren. What a spin! I think we've had a car run wide. Here's the replay. Okay, so there we have the Alpine. Going wide like that could cost them valuable time. Looks like there's been a lockup. We can take a look now. Okay, here's the Ferrari. It's a lockup, and that could be costly. That's going to be a big blow to the team. Will they be able to recover? We'll see. I think there's been a lockup. Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one. Just a bit too heavy on the brakes, and they've locked up. No! And that was a bitter blow for the team. And it may have really hurt their overall chances. We've just had a spin. Now look at this. It was the AlphaTauri driver involved. Look at that! They've spun their car. They've crashed out! Let's have a look. Now look at this. It was the AlphaTauri driver involved. That's an off, and a big off. Crash. Let's take a look at the replay. Now look at this. It was the AlphaTauri driver involved. lost control, and there's the crash. The team are devastated. They'll be questioning just what happened out there.
Save fuel. This will be the last lap.
So that is checkered flag, but you can keep pushing.
That's checkered flag.
It was a pretty good performance today from Aston Martin's driver. Aston Martin had a good enough weekend, but there's still some margin for improvement here.
Yes, this was a contrasted performance, but there were some good moments. There is promise here of great things down the line.
The end this weekend in 5th place in the constructor standings.
Next time, the teams will be adding another year to the legend of Spa-Francorchamps. Anything can happen at the Belgian Grand Prix.